None of this is easy. Anyone who says it is either hasn't done it or is trying to sell you something. Long view and short view need to be in balance. Hello, I'm Paige. I am an artist, entrepreneur, and weirdo. I've been thinking about doing this episode for a while. I actually had the outline, and one of you wonderful folks talked to me a little bit about being impatient and how that makes it tough to be a YouTuber. The truth is, you have to be an interesting mix of patient and impatient to do well on YouTube, and the same with pretty much all of content creation, if I'm being honest. The whole thing is basically a mind game of knowing how to be patient yet impatient. I've actually seen a lot of times people saying 97% of channels will not be monetized. That's a truly daunting statistic. And especially if you're seeing a lot of channels that frame it as all or nothing, like do these tricks or else you will have no YouTube viewers, and how I got to monetization in one video, and all this all or nothing kind of thinking, like you need to do X, Y, Z or you're gonna while away in obscurity on YouTube. It seems pretty hopeless. But as I mentioned in another video, time is really important, and there's another statistic that illustrates that it is not that simple. So here's the other thing. The average time it takes a YouTuber to monetize is 22 months. 22 months. And that's average. So yes, you have some people that are gonna be faster, but you have a lot of people that are gonna take longer than that. So if you can monetize your channel within 22 months, you're doing a pretty good job, especially since 97% of people don't get there. And I think the reality is that a lot of them give up before that, and that's part of why they don't. I've heard from folks that are like, I've been posting once a week for a month and I've only got 100 subscribers. I'm nowhere near the monetization. And I'm like, what? I've heard from other people who are newly monetized that are like, I posted once a week, every week for a year, and it took me 50 videos and I just got there, and why am I so bad at this? And it's like, if you post once a week for a year straight and you manage to get monetized, that's freaking incredible. You're way ahead of the curve. I have been an online person. I've been doing this since 2016. I went full-time in 2017. Now, I wasn't initially on YouTube. I just started YouTube last year. I started out blogging, writing essays, posting one daily, and putting out my first book back then. I have 7 books out now, and it's been going pretty well. I have lots and lots of followers for my writing, but I posted essays daily for over 5 years before I could make 5 figures a year off the blogging and the essays alone. Now, I have other things that I do. I have book sales, I have Patreon for my writing, I have a bunch of social media work I do. I write for other people's magazines. I have ways of getting by that are creative, but for the blogging and all that, 5.5 years. So taking a year, even taking 2 years to do that would be so amazing to have creative work, to post a video a week and have that happen. So it's really important when you're doing all this to make sure that you don't get so wrapped up in that short-term, oh gosh, I want it to grow fast, why am I not growing fast, what is wrong with me sort of mindset, that you miss the forest for the trees, so to speak. So what's really important is taking the long view, but only for certain ways. There's a pro and a con. So if you're taking the long view, you're like an ant, like from Lord of the Rings. You know the ants, those big tall trees.
I am an ant.
They speak really slowly, they watch the rise and fall of man, and they aren't doing a heck of a lot, but they are kind of outlasting all of it. They have all the time in the world. They can spend all day saying hello or goodbye. The ants are kind of a goal for me. So one thing that they talk about in YouTubing is they talk about not getting too wrapped up in how fast you're growing or what's happening, not getting too neurotic about your analytics or your attention stats or things like that until you've put out 50 videos, 50 videos. And for people that are posting once a week, that is a year. I do twice a week on one of my channels and once a week on this channel. On twice a week channels, that's 6 months. If you are somehow posting every day, which some people can if they're doing a lot of shorts and things like that, that's at least a couple of months of daily posting. Another thing is like anything over your sub count in views is a good performance. That's what they say. Anytime you get more than your sub count in views, you've done well. Look at that, double down on what's working. Because you need to take that long view. You can't be like, oh my gosh, I haven't become a success in 3 videos. Because that's just not how it works for most people, especially when you're new. But there's kind of a limit to that, right? So if you take a long view, you're like, oh, it's okay if I'm not doing well now because maybe I'll do well in 6 months or a year. you still have to have that sense of urgency where you are posting on a regular schedule, where you're putting out content. Because if you relax too much, if you're too, oh yeah, patience, fine, then you won't have the urgency to take those short-term actions that you need to take. So that's the key there. Be long-term with your emotions and how you're feeling about your channel, but short-term with your actions and what you are doing to grow your channel. Don't feel way far ahead. And another way of thinking about this is that there are things you can control and things you can't. So things you can control are how often you post and what you post, and the kind of strategies you use for thumbnails, titles, things of that nature, what niche you go into. You choose those, you control that, that's your piece, and you need to keep control of that and be thinking about that. So take the short-term view for your actions, picking what you post and when you post, and making sure that you post. But for things you can't control, you need to take the long-term view. What are things you can't control? Exactly how your video does. You can take a bunch of actions that should theoretically give you a better shot at reaching more viewers, or at least of growing your channel, but you can't control it. You can't control what resonates with the audience. You can't control what is hot and trending. You can't control any of that. You can get better at educated guesses on what will do well, but sometimes even experienced people are taken off guard with a video that either underperforms or overperforms. On my first channel, I have a video that was a massive success for us, our most popular video, and I posted it as filler. I mean, I did my best job on editing and the presentation and everything. I always do, but I did not have a good feeling about the video. I didn't think it would do very well, and it is by far the most popular video on the channel. I'd even posted a video on another subject. It's very similar to it about a month before, and it hadn't done well. So you can't control that. You can just do your best. What you can control and what you should take a very short-term laser focus on is making sure you post, improving one thing every time you put out a new video. So for me, that's once a week for one of my channels, twice a week for the other, and doing everything you can within your skills and ability of the time to give your video a good shot. Long view and short view need to be in balance. So if you're like a lot of people, and frankly like me sometimes, and you're feeling that impatience, I want my channel to grow now, I need my channel to grow now, I need this to work, I need to go fast, I need to build it, feeling that pressure, take that feeling and put it into the things you can control and let go of the things you can't. Take the long view on them. It's hard though. I'm not gonna tell you it's not hard. None of this is easy. Anyone who says it is either hasn't done it or is trying to sell you something. It's hard. There's no way getting around it. But if you can get that delicate mental balance where you're taking those short-term actions and having the long-term view about it, you'll be golden. You'll go really, really far. Anyway, it was great talking to you as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.